right.
All right, ready? All right, we there? All right. There we go.
There we go. We got two
All
for
right.
posterity.
And for that,
All right.
let's do a cheers.
Cheers, fellas. Thanks. Thanks for having us. Whoa.
All right.
Tasty.
Welcome, welcome.
All right. Welcome, everybody. This is Dave and Tom with the BlabberMalt Show, episode 143 for May 12th, 2026. We do this show every Tuesday-ish, 7 p.m., post-meridian, as they say. Ish. What are we like? 15 minutes late today? That's okay. Nobody cares. We got two people watching. We have our wives are watching.
The USS Cleveland came through. He's got to he's been busy.
Oh, yeah. You were probably out there.
The boys around.
Oh. Be careful.
They were like,
So we're going live on Facebook tonight. We're going to be on Spotify and YouTube tomorrow. So find us, the BlabberMalt Show, at BlabberMalt, Instagram, Threads, X, all the places. Hit the Beacons link. You can get some BlabberMalt swag. And also, if you scroll all the way down, I put a link up there for the Lorraine Brewing Oktoberfest party at the Lighthouse. So you can click that and get tickets to that. Once you go to that link, you got to scroll to September. Is it August?
It's in August.
And pick the date, and you can get tickets for that. So, yeah, we got all the stuff on the Beacons link. Today is no exception. We have a fantastic show here. We have both of you guys are two-time BlabberMalt Show alum. I think this is your third appearance for both of you. And we're being hosted at John Christ / Laughing Bomb Brewery here with Zech, the proprietor. He's gracious enough to open up his space for us tonight. Thank you so much.
thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And then we have this dude, Karl, over here, Brick and Barrel, representing.
Hello.
He's been on the show in studio and at his place a couple of times. So happy to have these guys. We're going to be talking about beer and wine tonight. So,
And Zech started us off here with a wine, I believe, to start the show off. What do we?
This is our Riesling. This is our semi-dry Riesling. It is a California juice that we bring up here. We age in French oak barrels, and then we do it semi-dry. So,
very nice.
So again, just so for you get the grapes
yep.
from
So
sourced,
the
and
raw-
everything is put together and actually fermented and
Yep.
barrel aged here at John Christ.
So we bring it in. It's raw juice. This one is a 2024 vintage. So it comes in from California just as raw juice. We ferment it on site. We then take it, put it into raw oak barrels, and let it age. And then depending on how we like it, we pull it out and then back sweeten a little bit. And that's our Riesling for our house Riesling.
And again, I mean, one of the reasons we want to do this episode, we have two folks here who we kind of met through the brewery world. So, you know, Zech with Laughing Bomb and obviously Karl with Brick and Barrel down in the flats there. But as we, got to know them a little bit, realizing that they also had an extensive background in wines and started out a little bit, at least I know for sure Karl did, with his wine experience first. I think Zech has kind of gone back and forth between wine and beer. And we thought it'd be kind of a neat episode to talk about some of the similarities and differences in those two different spirits that we all love to enjoy. As my wife and I say, we do not discriminate. So wine, beer, whiskey, bourbon, we'll drink it all, even a seltzer every now and then.
I love blending them all together.
Called a suicide?
The best wines are bourbon barrel aged wines, like a
All right,
little bit of
long as
whiskey, a little bit of this.
As long as you're not talking about a hairy buffalo.
That's good too.
Not in the same glass.
Not the same glass. Yeah. We actually have a lot of things that we're working on right now in our R&D department here at the winery, and I'll elaborate more on that with our expansion project that we're doing. But moving brewing operations out and having just the winery here at John Christ, we are doing like pink tequila barrel aged Chardonnays. We are taking in a lot of really unique barrels and aging wines in them to have special unique releases. So.
Oh.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, because both of you guys have news. Let's talk about your news, the new space you're going to be occupying soon.
Yeah, so we're taking over the old working class location at Cam's Corner, and we're moving all of our brewing operations over there. So we're going to make all of our beer, cider, and seltzers there. That opens up a lot of space here at the old John Chris location, and we're going to have a lot more wine-focused production out of this facility now. So we're oak fooders. We're bringing in 2 or 3 old French oak fooders that we're going to bring in, and then a lot more single barrel aged specific, a lot of viniferous wines that are going to be aged. So,
And we're, John Chris is located in Avon Lake. We're in Avon Lake?
We're 32421 Walker Road, right on the golf course. Can't miss us.
All right.
Yeah, we got a nice space out back for events and things going on in the summer. I know you guys have live music here on the weekends. Is that getting ready to kick off?
Every Friday and Saturday, 7 to 10. We have Wing Wednesdays on Wednesdays, $10 wing baskets, and we have music bingo every Wednesday. Every Thursday we have trivia, and then live music every Friday and Saturday.
Well, I'm going to do a call out for that because I will tell you that my wife and I, we like to try different fish fries during Lent. And I'll tell you the best one we had this year was out here at John Chris Winery. The fish fry was fabulous.
I appreciate that. We hand dip
was-
everything fresh in-house. We used our lake lager, hand batter everything to order.
Yeah, and it was, you could tell, and the shrimp, and I had shrimp, she had the fish, we split it. You had to split it. It was a huge portion. And again, of all the places we tried, between some of the churches and some of the other established restaurants that we kind of think have good fish fries, you guys were hands down the best this year.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you.
That means a lot. We try hard, trust me.
Awesome.
Cool. Now, also, Carl, you guys you're looking to find a new partner with the brewery?
Yeah,
Is
so
that?
I'm turning 65 soon.
I thought it was 75.
75. Well,
Feels
I didn't wanna
85.
say. So I got to retire. I need that Medicare and all that stuff. But no, yeah. So I'm looking to kind of go the next step, next level. Get some people who might be interested to bring Brick and Barrel to another step. Food or different kind of marketing, social media kind of things that I'm not an expert at. But yeah. So.
People are
That's kind of
stumbling
where I'm
already.
at. I'm in the Coast Guard I'm active duty Coast Guard member, and I got 3 little kids. And I realized after 12 years, I'm kind of looking at a certain different part of my life, and I want to see if anyone's interested in coming in and kind of grooming the place to go to another level that I know the place can be.
Now, hopefully there's going to be some mutual transition there to keep some of the great stuff you have going. I mean, Bitter Chief has to live on. If Chief Wahoo can't live on, let's have the Bitter Chief at least live on.
Yeah, no, I mean yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, the Bitter. I mean, it's the Bitter Chief's there. It's there to stay, and the brands are there, and the place is great, and I love it. It's like a kid. It's family.
Yeah.
To me, and
So looking
it's
for
just-
somebody to adopt.
Yeah, it's just and
Not raise, but adopt.
forever. Yeah, and I'm there forever. That's what it feels like. It feels like that, and I'm there forever. It's just I can't commit the time with deployments and things, and that's kind of where I'm at in the Coast Guard world. Is I'm deployed a lot.
Yeah.
It's part of my world I live in, and I just don't want the place to take a
Yeah.
back burner.
So,
to
Zach,
the
you ready
rest
for
of
a third location?
I'd love it. I just can't afford
Yeah.
it.
Exactly. It's,
Well,
We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Matthias, if you're out there,
and
Yeah, hit 'em up.
I'm just excited to take the next step and be, where I'm going to be. But yeah,
It's a great location, by the way.
It sure is.
Between River Roots open up down there,
Yeah.
isn't there a new restaurant going in?
great question. I do not know that part.
I think I read something about something else. Yeah, coming out of that
Yeah,
area.
someone did mention that. I mean, Tom and I were hanging out there tonight, and I love Tom. We all
Yeah.
love Tom. He's the best, And Mike Gorick over there, and the whole Michael Simon group. And I don't know most of them, but they're there. But I know Tom and Mike, and they're great. And I'm excited. And we've got a lot of buzz. We carry a lot of their bourbon, and people have been really excited about it. So I mean, it's been awesome. And just excited for that spot. But you're right. Something just popped in there the other day, and I can't remember what it was. There's an awesome motorcycle garage that just opened up, and I'm not doing due diligence. I apologize. He texted me his name and his company's name. They used to be over maybe more way east, But awesome place, good people there, the rowers. You know, it's just a great location. So
I was going to say that the first place I ever tried River Roots bourbon was here at John Christ.
I'm a big fan of John. I'm just kidding. I'm a big fan of Tom Gray and Michael Simon, everything that they're doing at River Roots. They've got a really good crew down there. So we do our own single barrel picks that we have here from them. They do a very high-end bourbon selection there. So
And are you using any of their barrels for some of your wines?
we are. We have quite a few. So we'll try some today.
oh, nice.
Excellent. So look, man, we got to get into this winemaking thing here. I mean, for me, I know nothing about making wine. I know beer.
Yes, you do. You know beer, so you know wine.
I know beer. Well, I
It's
like drinking
similar.
wine. It's sugar, water, and yeast, right? How hard could it be? It could be hard. I've tried to make wine, and it's terrible. So what am I doing wrong?
Yeah,
Keep it clean.
Keep it clean.
Yep,
which is similar to brewing. I mean,
It is really. It's sanitation. The biggest thing that I've seen with wine and the crossover comes through. It's yeast derived, but mostly it's just keeping it clean and having that portfolio that you're going for. So I'll let Carl talk a little bit on it, but for the most part, as long as you keep it clean, it's going to do what you want it to do.
Yeah, I mean, you know, European winemakers, same as Belgian, German, British. We're talking old world winemaking. They used the vessels that were around. They didn't know about inoculation. They didn't know about cleaning too much. They just know what happened with what they had from the field they had, you know, of the grapes coming in was what's going to happen in that winery is what's going to happen. You know, new technologies, new science, new education brought us to where we are now. But you still drink those wines to this day because they don't clean their foeders, they don't clean their barrels like we do, but they also know what's going on. And you want that main yeast strain that might be coming, that microflora from the grapes to be the most prevalent strain. So they know how to kind of adjust that and make that happen. But, you know, new winemaking, they call it old world and new world, you know, winemaking, it's the same as beer. Like, we do that to this day. We use certain yeast strains that are going to make those flavors. We inoculate when you need to. We interrupt that fermentation, and it happens. And we rely on the grapes that are coming from the vineyard. It's very farm agricultural derived.
Okay.
Like it is with beer, hops and grain.
Yep.
That's our big.
And when you're coming in, so if you're trying to reproduce like what Carl's saying, if you want a specific, hey, this is a Chardonnay from that area or that region, you're going to modern day inoculate it with the correct yeast and microbes to represent that area, that region that it was grown in. And what we see a lot of is that we're bringing a lot of our juices up from California right now and fermenting them on site and pitching them to make sure that that microbe flora that we have is identical to what it should have been in that region to make that style.
So there is some inoculation that goes on. It's not just relying on what's on the grape when you get it.
When you're cleaning and you're keeping everything isolated, you want it the way that you exactly want it. That's what we do.
Okay.
So now there are a lot of house wines that you can make. I mean, if you want to start talking about like the John Christ wines that are here, they've been around since 1946. John Christ was an immigrant from Macedonia. He worked for Welch's Grape Juice when he came over. So it's kind of weird that he worked for Welch's Grape Juice and then started a winery. And his number one selling wine is a super sweet Concord-based wine. Not saying he was
I wonder
taking
why.
juice home and making wine, but it's kind of there.
Yeah.
So a lot of that is we have a very wide variety of wine that we sell here, and we're down to about 60% of our wine sales are sweet Ohio fruit wines, and then the rest of them are very viniferous that we're bringing up and aging on-site oak, steel, and inoculating exactly the microbes that we want in to produce that style that we're looking for. That acidity, that tartness.
So, I mean, Ohio wines, I mean, I'm going to go back to my little knowledge of this. I mean, you generally hear, especially around the Great Lakes area, Concord and Niagara are kind of the two terms referred to a lot of times with wines in this area. Difference between the two. What makes a Niagara, what makes a Concord?
Concord's a deep red, Welch's grape juice, Niagara is a white. They both thrive in this region. They both like the acidity and the pH of our soil here, but a lot of them blend them together. So a pink Catawba is normally like a Catawba grape blended with Concord. Our special blend is a Concord Niagara, 85 to 15% blend to make that. So a lot of the Ohio sweet wines are vines that thrive in this region, and then people blend them to a certain sweetness and acidity that they want them to be.
Now, are some of those still available here? I mean, do you still get some Concord and Niagara grapes from the Ohio region, or is a lot of it now sourced?
Yeah, so we grow 2.5 acres on site here, and then we, down on Weber, we have another 29 acres that we source from.
Isn't that close to another winery?
That's Clean Insurance, yeah,
Yes,
down the
okay.
street. So we source a lot of our juice for the Ohio sweet wines come from them that we don't produce on site, and that comes in as raw juice, and then we ferment everything on site. So our wines are very different because of how they're fermented, but the juice itself is coming from right down the street.
Nice.
This might be a dumb question, but can you take a Catawba grape and ferment it out and make it a dry wine?
You can.
I thought, what does it taste like? Has it been done?
It has been done. It's not terrible. It's just a very dry table wine.
Okay.
So there are wineries that are doing it. I think Firelands has 2 different styles that they sell under their brand. When we look at it, for the most part, our Ohio wines and everything that we grow here are either medium sweet or sweet wine. They just present better, and the grape aroma, the fresh right out of the vineyard burst that you're going to get with that acidity and sweetness, it's the best way to do it.
So you could do it, but
You can.
it's not done because it's not as good.
Carl?
Yeah, I mean, so
What do we have here next?
yeah, go ahead.
I actually don't know what they poured.
What'd you pour us?
Yep. So this is a River Roots bourbon barrel aged cab.
Oh, yep. Burn barrel aged cab.
Yep.
All right. Tom, we're gonna get you on the show soon. I told you, once you're over your place.
So this one specifically is a 20-year Heaven Hill barrel that we got from Tom.
You're not allowed to say Heaven Hill. You can't tell us what the barrel's from.
Well,
we didn't say what bourbon.
We see what they are. It's a 20-year Heaven Hill.
It's just Heaven Hill.
That was it.
Like,
So
that's good.
And how long did you let sit in the barrel?
this one was 11 months.
11 months.
You say caps off?
Yep.
So, talking about, again, between beer and wine. So you've got the juice that you're using, or the grapes for the wine. You've gotten beer, you've got the malt and the hops. We heard the commonality of yeast used in both. Are they, I mean, completely different strains of yeast? Is there some commonality in different yeasts that are used between beer and wine? Or tell me about the yeast, since that's the one common word, but
Tell me about your
I've got
yeast.
a cup of tea right over here.
I don't know if it's
I was going to go crazy on the Labrusca vinifera thing, but I'm not going to because you brought up yeast, and I know Zach is like,
If you
he's
wanna
guru.
go-
man.
go crazy on that first.
Go yeast, go yeast.
I'm
Because
just-
I
I'm
know
just
this
curious,
guy. I
so
know this guy. And when I first met this guy, I was like, this is the yeast guy.
This is completely. They are
yeasty.
completely different. So Saccharomyces cerevisiae that we use for the beer industry is completely different than what we use in the wine industry. You're going to see a lot of different variants in all of the different styles of wine making, and it's really regional, like Carl was saying earlier, where it's when they first started, they didn't even know that yeast made wine. They just kept putting it in there, and it kept bubbling, and it made wine.
Beer and wine was made accidentally.
They did not
Yeah.
know what was in there. Now we have had the ability to isolate those strains, and we have the science to back it up. Now we can sit there and we can make wine in the United States that tastes like wine made in Europe. That is, hey, this is the exact same yeast strain that we bring in. If we treat it that way, it'll produce the same thing. So But yeah, it's
a completely
we can do an entire series on yeast if you want. If you want to nerd out, I love doing it. So.
But, I mean, in simple terms for me, the ignorant person here. So, even though they're both called yeast, they're completely different strains. We know that there's different strains of beer yeast. There's different strains of wine yeast, and they do not ever overlap. They're completely different worlds. Is that correct?
For the most part, they are. There are some overlapping. Not all of them do. And there's also a secondary like microflora that will go with it. A little bit of pediococcus, lactobacillus, other things that are that are kind of mixed in that will give it a signature flavor for that region.
So some of the beers that we think of as I want to say the saisons, the Brettmeissens, those are sometimes using wine yeast versus beer yeast.
They're more bacteria than
driven.
yeast.
Yeah.
Those
Okay.
are bacteria driven. The big difference is you can make a beer in 2 weeks to 6 weeks. You can make a wine in a year to 2 years, 6 years. Like, there's a huge difference in what develops in character from that yeast, from that bacteria that is growing in there over the course of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 6 years. So when it really comes down to what develops all of that small, minute character, is there a little bit of butter? Is there a little bit of acidity? Is there a little bit of, hey, is that pear? Is that grapefruit? Like, all of those develop over time.
So you just
Wine definitely takes a lot longer than beer when it's in its, I guess, the best environment that you're growing it to.
You said the key word. Chardonnays usually have that buttery flavor. This cab has a nice buttery flavor too that I normally don't get in a cab. Now, is that coming from the barrel or is it coming from the actual cab?
That's coming from the barrel.
From the
So
barrel.
that's from the tannins in the oak as it's aging. This one was aged for so long that it went hot, cold, through 3 cycles. And when it went through that, it's extracting a lot more out of that oak. You'll see that when you look at bourbon out of Kentucky. Do you have a 2-year bourbon? Do you have a 5-year bourbon? Do you have a 10-year bourbon? And how complex is the flavor? That complexity comes from hot, cold extraction, expansion of it going into the wood, out of the wood, and extracting tannins and all of the flavor that you get from that.
So it's very important to go in and out.
Yes.
Of the wood. With the wood.
In the
Yes.
wood.
In the wood.
Out of the wood?
I get vanillin, so I get like that vanillin kind of thing, which I think is like, when you like that drips you do, like as you're making cupcakes, you do like drip drop, or like the vanilla drippy thing, I don't know. I'm gonna take a picture, but I get like the vanilla, which I think sometimes gets like, to me in my brain, is buttery, like almost diacetyl, but it's not. It's like vanillin from that oak extraction.
Okay.
That might be what I'm. Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm feeling.
It won't have the slickness on the tongue that diacetyl will have.
Yes.
So if you were to like feel your tongue and kind of go through the coating, a real diacetyl would have a slickness that's going to leave behind. And
Butter
a
popcorn.
tannin, exactly, and a tannin from oak is not going to leave that.
And that's what I feel. That's that from that oak. You get the wine extracting that, and the bourbon that's already in there. That's how I feel. But yeah, and I get that in a lot of bourbons too, like that vanilla.
Yeah,
when it's
for sure.
The heavy oak.
Those are my. I love
In
a
wine, in wine,
10-year bourbon and over. I love the toothpick. I like that oaky vanilla harshness out of bourbon.
It just smooths it out. It's good mouthfeel. You
Yep.
know it, because it could be one-dimensional. Wine can be so one-dimensional, but if you make it right, it can have multi-facets of your palate.
So the cab that you put in. Tell us about this cab that's in.
So the cab that's in here is a raw juice that we got from California, right outside of Napa Valley. We brought it in. We aged it in stainless steel, fermented it on site. It was about 13 months in stainless, and then went into the barrel. So
Let's have Karl critique it. What do you
I
think
love
of
it.
this?
I mean, it's
Okay.
great. I mean, like if
Trying to start something here.
No, I mean, like, if you're summing it up, right? If you're doing these classes and you're doing all this shit you're paying money for, and you're spending money on wines that pass tests, you're breaking down the color and you're putting it behind a white background, and you're going like, is it browning around the edges? How deep is the color? Yada yada. Is it what kind of ruby red? You're going crazy with it, and then you're smelling it and you're doing that whole thing. thing. And people are always like, they make fun of it. You're like, I'm gonna spit it out and they do this. Oh, I'm smelling it, but it's a real thing. You're opening up the bouquet. You're trying to get some of the aromas and things. You're trying to pass the test, right? Or look cool in front of your friends. So it's weird when you go to a restaurant. You like smell the cork. You're like, why am I smelling the fucking cork? And they do like that weird small pour, and you're like. And you look at them like, yeah, this is good, man. I guess.
Pour the wine.
Pour the wine. Dude.
Nobody smells the cork. Everyone knows that.
Like, what is that?
I had someone tell me that the reason they show you the cork is that you can make sure it's the actual label of the bottle that they didn't re-cork it.
not dried out.
Because there's nothing you can actually tell from the cork.
But
It's just to make you feel good. Yeah, the small pour, I'm like, they give to them like, yeah, just go ahead, just pour the whole thing. I mean, I already bought the bottle. I don't care.
exactly, man, and that's what it is, and it's like it's a whole presentation thing, and then also like you're paying money for a wine, and you're getting kind of geeky with it, and you like have fun with it, like we do with beer, like we do with like, well, is this a hazy IPA you can see through? And they're like, is this in the West Coast that you can't see through?
Yeah.
You're like, what did I just
What
buy?
difference does it
on our
matter?
Facebook, and like this is bullshit, and you're like, okay,
This West Coast is hazy.
Sorry, but anyways, I don't filter shit, and my shit work right. But like, so with wine, it's the same thing. You're just kind of breaking it down, and you're smelling, you're looking, you're kind of regionality, and what are they trying to do? But from this is awesome. Like the vanillin's there. It's a nice color. The Cab Sauv is kicking. I'm tasting the fruit, which is nice. Because sometimes these get lost in the oak. They get lost in the vanilla, and they get lost in the yeast.
The next
I
one's
taste
going to get
Cab.
lost. You're going to see.
But that's okay because we got some wines like I made a port style wine and a lot of the flavors get lost. It's like sweet alcohol, boozy, and there's some grapes there.
As long as it's
Like, you don't
enjoyable,
know what
though.
grapes they are, but it's fine. And this you can smell the cab, which is really nice, Jack. You did a great job. It's
Thank
really
you.
nice to me. I think it's great.
Our next one that we have coming up is you're going to get lost a little bit. It's going to take you straight to Barbados. It's
I've never been, but I can't wait to go.
it's pure rum, vanilla, spice.
Nice.
So there's a little back history on this one. They're gonna bring it up right now, I guess. So, I will say, my wife and I, we went on our honeymoon to Barbados.
Oh, wait a minute, congratulations. I saw some pictures of the wedding anniversary recently.
Well, yeah, that was 10 years. It's been a
it's a remake?
This is a remake. So Trudy, that I went to college with, she actually ran the only brewery on the island. And
Barbados?
of Barbados. Yep. So we went to college. We were in the fermentation and food science degree together, and she
Ladies and gentlemen, our producer.
I was like, what are you gonna do? She's like, well, I have a job, and she's like, I run the only brewery on the island. I was like, what do you mean? She goes, well, we make Budweiser, Bud Light, Guinness, all of the Barbados beer, Sands, everything else, Coca-Cola, and all the Coke products, and they were the only place there on the island that made anything carbonated. Huge thing down there is non-alcoholic malt beverages, Tiger Malt. And it is, if you pulled wort off your fermenter, as you're brewing, you're home brewing, if you just pull it out and chilled it and carbonated it, that's what they sell. It is their number one selling soft product in Barbados is a non-alcoholic malt beverage.
I'm gonna write this down.
And so, yep, Tiger Malt is one of them. That's one of the brands.
Here's your next business.
Have you ever thought of that for a business? Maybe sell that.
So then when we went down there for our honeymoon, she actually left the brewery and went to the oldest distillery in the world, and it's called Mount Gay Distillery. And on top of that, she's been running that for the last 15 years now. And we did a partnership and collaboration when we went down there for our honeymoon 2 years ago. And when we did that, we brought back some barrels of Mount Gay rum, and we aged our Cab Sauv in the Mount Gay rum. So we haven't released it yet. It's a little boozy. This is straight out of the barrel. So we are going to cut it. We're going to...
So is this the same one? Is it the same cabs?
So this is a cab. It's the same base as what we would have had before, but from 23. And it's going to be a little harsh. It's going to be a little boozy because this came straight out of the barrel. Now, we're going to cut it down a little bit. Not sure how much.
It doesn't smell
Yep.
boozy, by the way. Yeah, to me, not smell boozy. Yeah. It smells like the last one almost, like very similar. But
I get a lot more vanilla with this.
So this
Oh,
is
yeah.
this is a Mount Gay rum,
get a lot of
Barbados rum, bourbon barrel aged cab sauv. So when I was talking about how we're going to start doing more experimental varieties with tequila, bourbon, rum, this is what I'm talking about.
So what does this come in at, probably?
I haven't ran this one, but last time I looked, it was like 18.5%. So
Probably going to cut that to 14.
we'll cut it down to probably 15, 16.
Okay.
Yeah, feels a little slightly thinner than the last one.
Yeah.
Strangely, the body is a little bit different, yes, but the flavor is.
You still get
Yeah,
that
it
cab
is
behind
tropical.
it.
Tropical's a good tropical vanilla.
That's
Yeah.
really interesting.
It's something. So that's what we're trying to figure out. It's like this is going to be a single barrel. We're going to start doing a lot of single barrel releases. And when I sing single barrel, it's going to be a blend of 5 barrels. So when we do a single barrel wine release, it's going to be a blend of like 5 barrels together, and this is one of the 5.
That's different but nice. Yeah.
I mean, you keep mentioning the tequila barrels, and I keep thinking of, I don't know if it was Brew Kennel that did their beer and the tequila. It was pink something. The Pink Russia?
Oh yeah, Karen, all them did it.
Was that for the Pink Boot Society?
I think
it might have been,
in a tequila barrel, yeah.
That was
I haven't
good.
had that one yet.
That was really good beer. They did a
It
great
was
job.
definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, tequila does different things to beverages.
You could
and-
almost overcome the
Yes.
product because of that spicy, that
Yeah.
kind of
Our
tequila.
Our
Yeah.
experiments right now with the tequila is we're looking like 1 to 2 months in a tequila barrel versus
for a wine.
For a wine, yes, versus like 6 to a year and a half for a bourbon or a whiskey. So
now-
this one right now, we're going on almost 2 years on this one with the rum because it took it a long time to pick up the flavor. We expected it to pick up within 6 to 9 months, and it didn't. And then when we went back to it about
So how do you know this?
14?
Do you taste it all the time?
Yep. We about once every 2 months we'll pull out little wine thief, pull it out, we taste it, and we do. We diligently taste all of our barrels so that we know exactly when to pull them. I think that's a big thing is knowing what you have in your cellar and knowing when it's ready and when it's not ready. Because if you let it sit too long, it'll start to turn to vinegar. If you let it sit too long, it'll start to get a little bit of that extreme oxidation.
Yeah.
If you're not on top of your barrel program when you have one going, and if I'll never forget Jeremy that runs Founders. He was like, I hate barrel day. I was like, what do you mean you hate barrel day? He goes, I go through and he goes, I taste 350 barrels of bourbon barrel aged stout once a month. He goes, I hate it. He goes, I am literally sitting there, 1 barrel, 2 barrels, 3 barrels. He goes, I do that all day long for 3 days straight.
How do I get
That
that
sounds
job?
terrible.
He goes, but if you're not on top of your barrel program, and keep in mind, they make some very good bourbon barrel aged stouts out of Founders. He's like, if he's not on top of it and you're not paying attention to what you're doing, when you blend them all together, it takes 1 or 2 barrels to make a whole batch go bad. So,
So if I can lead into that, what Zach was saying. So in the wine background, for what we would do is we would do the barrel selection, pick what we're going to pick for what we're going to blend. Same thing. One of my jobs was growing through the wine industry was to collect those samples. You'd go up, and sometimes it was like you're climbing up a barrel rack, taking a wine thief and putting 20 mils or whatever it is in there, and then you would have all these, make sure they're labeled, and you'd have a sheet of what you're grabbing. And we're talking hundreds of barrels. And that was our daily occurrence, part of like your assistant winemaker or a cellar master or just a cellarman or a harvest intern. And you would do these things throughout the year. Even 1 week into the barrel or 1 week into fermentation, you were constantly tasting and constantly evolving and looking at everything. And that's why they spit. And everyone's like, why do winemakers or wine people spit into a spittoon? Because like you have to taste. And you're going to get messed up if
Yeah.
you're constantly drinking because you're constantly sampling. It's a weekly occurrence.
Yeah.
And
my
like the
guys
barrel
make
program.
fun of me
You
because
have
I've
to do
fallen
it.
off ladders before.
Yeah.
And I don't like ladders now, but
So I got an odd question for you. So we've had these two. They've been barrel aged, Heaven Hill and the. And I'm trying to think. Do you ever put a non-red wine into a barrel.
Yep.
And what does that taste and do?
That's our. We have a Chardonnay coming up in the pink tequila barrels I was talking about. So yeah, we're aging all kinds of different wines back there, and to be fully transparent, I learned this at Fatheads a long time ago when I first got in the beer industry. If it doesn't meet what we want it to meet, we dump it down the drain, and it sucks. And you dump a lot of things down the drain. This is research and development. This is trying to find the right things. So out of all of our barrels that we have filled back there, we might dump 5-10% of them down the drain because they don't meet the standard that we want them to meet. Something happens. They don't pick up the portfolio
Would they
that we
meet
want.
my standard, though? Wait a minute.
They might
You might
be
have
somebody's
you might have to
standard.
call me. Hold on. Before you dump that.
Hey, if you need a drain dumper, me and Tom we'll haul them away, and I promise we'll drain dump them.
Drain dump them. I'm fine with that. Our biggest thing is that we won't put our brand on something that doesn't meet our standard of what we're looking for. So we'll go through and and it hurts me. Trust me. I do everything. I run the books. I brew the beer. And every time I have to dump a barrel down the drain, it hurts. It cries. My pocketbooks cry. I cry. It's a sad thing.
So Karl, I know you had done some stuff out west with some California's Oregon wineries, but you also did some local stuff out in Debonais for a while there.
Yeah,
What kind of stuff was being done out there?
I cut my teeth at Debonais about 2024 or 2004. 2004. I started there. I got on the Coast Guard the first time. Took a part-time job and then went right into full-time. It was awesome. What did we do? The whole Debonais portfolio. You know what I mean? It was like pretty much everything: ice wine, blends. You know, they have hundreds of acres. Tony DeBevic, Senior he's a mentor to me, you know, like Nick Fronte, Tony DeBevic, amazing people, you know, even Gene Siegel, like what he can do in the vineyard. These people are great. I mean, they're pioneers. They're amazing, you know.
Was it a
just
lot
great
of the
people.
typical, we're talking about the Concord Niagara stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's Labrusca grapes that grow great here. But no, they have vinifera grapes. I mean, you have the Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Syrah, Cabernet Sauvignon, the ones that people know because of France and Europe. You
And
know,
I
things
will
like that.
say,
Yeah.
I think Debonais is making some of the best viniferous grapes in like the growing region in Ohio right now.
Yeah.
I really do. Mike, that's their like head seller guy right now, is doing a great job, and I immensely have a ton of respect for them. They are making very good product out there.
Yeah, I mean, the Grand River Valley AVA is amazing. I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, Matt Meineke and M Sellers, you name it. I mean, they're all great. I mean, they're doing such a great job with what they got. I mean, our climate is tough, you know. So some of these grapes, vinifera, the European varietals we're not made to be here. You know, we're Labrusca driven. We're Concord, Niagara. you know,
Labrusca.
so
What's
Chamberset.
Labrusca? What is that?
Labrusca is the Vitis Labrusca. Vitis is the vine, and then it's just it's a genus, you know, species of what grows here. You know, like the Latin terms for it. So it's a little more bullshit.
Tough to.
Yeah,
a
Vitis
little more-
vinifera is your Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Cabernet Sauvignon. Vitis Labrusca is your Concord, Niagara. Catawba. There are natural grapes that grow here. They're very hardy. They're hard because we have frost when it's not supposed to be, you know, most around the country. And they grow and they strive. They're a little rough. You got to add they're a little acidic. They're a little like tannic. So you have to round it off. You have to soften it. You have to add some sugar. You have to add a little something to it. You have to take back the acidity. It's rough. But we make good wine here. They've been doing it for over hundreds of years.
Yeah.
But like our new winemakers, you know, like Tony and Nick, they've been doing this since the 30s. You know, they're making juice, making wine. You know, and it's amazing. And I learned. I cut my teeth there. They're great mentors. I'm just proud to start there and then take it over to around the country and over the world and cut my teeth with that. And like that's what we should be doing. And that's what Zach's doing. It's like this is awesome. This is really really good.
Agreed.
I mean, and so we always hear about, you know, wine taking years, not weeks, like beer. So do we have in this region, so obviously, you know, Zach, you've mentioned you've got some beers or some wines that have been at least, I don't know, at least 2 or 3 years, because it was 11 months, 12 months in one condition, another 12 months in something else. I mean, do we find wines here in the Northeast Ohio that are maybe 4 or 5 years in the making, or do they get rushed a little bit here in the North Coast?
I'll let Carl talk on this too. I don't think they get rushed as much as it's just the chemical composition of our grapes and what we get out of our must and what we get out of when we harvest here in Ohio. We have the brutal winters. We have the vines that won't grow. It's very hard, and for the most part, you're getting those super acidic, back sweetened Concord, Niagara, Catawba, Niagara. Those are the ones that are going to grow and thrive in this region, and they can be ready in 4 months, 5 months.
Oh, really?
And they can sit there for 2.5 years in stainless steel.
Is there any benefit to aging them?
Yeah.
I don't see any benefit to aging them. The only time I'd like to start messing around with some of them as a dry, especially with some of the Concord, a dry like bourbon, a dry. We've been kind of messing with it, but we're not sure. We'll see what happens.
Let's do it.
So is it not like beer that the yeast, you want the yeast to be in there for longer times? Is it the yeast not as important to the fermentation process in wine as it could be? I'm thinking, obviously Belgian beers where the yeast in there, even after in bottle condition, for 5 or 6 years can change the flavor. Is that not as prominent in some of the wines in this area? The yeast kind of does its thing and is done after a year or two or months?
Yeah, no, it does. No, totally. I mean, so you've heard of like sur lees, means on lees, which is dead yeast cells. And so basically after fermentation, you might rack it or keep it in barrel. And a lot of winemakers around in Ohio, in our Grand River Valley AVA, and I'm sure out here, Accenture and Zach, what they do is, especially Chardonnay, some of those things, or even Cab, and some of the reds, what you do is you might ferment in barrel. Or you start in stainless, bring it over, and it still has lees in, kind of like bottle conditioning. You put your Belgians into a bottle, it's on the yeast. What happens with the wine is you have surlees and nutrients and some of the dead proteins that fall out. You stir them, you mix them with like a contraption, it's like a weird wand that has like a blade on it, and you stir them. What it does is it adds texture, adds like creaminess to the mouthfeel, and that's delicious once it's all done, said, put into the bottle. And even on the bottles, they put like Chardonnay Surlees, means on these, or Cabernet Sauvignon, Surlees, Cabernet Franc, whatever it may be. But it's got to have the tannin structure. It's got to have the fruit. Because if you have a tannic bomb Surlees wine,
Other producer, assistant producer?
it's just a creamy tannic wine with no fruit. You got to have structure. You got to have the fruit. You have to have the triangle. You have to have the creamy structure, tannic, and tannins if you want a tannic wine. But now we're talking about like whites that are crisp and clean. But you have to have that, and you have to have the fruit. You just don't want like some like mouth puckering creaminess.
Yeah.
You want to have some fruit. You want to have good complexity, and it comes with the growing region, then the winemaking. If you don't have great grapes, you can't make great wine.
Yeah.
Then it's just you add sugar, and you might as well just call it party wine.
Yeah.
But what we call it? What's a thing in the brute garbage can with fruit in it? What's it?
Oh, the Hairy Buffalo.
Hairy
Hairy
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Yeah. Then you're making Hairy Buffalo. Yeah.
And there's a time and place for that.
Well, I saw the garbage
Why
can
not?
in the back of the line or-
So I've heard a couple times stainless steel versus stainless steel versus barrels. So for winemaking, the new I'm going to say new because it's new to me in the last 4 or 5 years. This unoaked Chardonnay that has become kind of popular that people like versus the oaked, which is nice butter, full flavored. What do you find? Is there pluses and minuses other than time related to stainless steel versus barrel, or does it, to be a wine, does it have to come out of a barrel? Darn it!
So, correct me if I'm wrong here, Carl, but for the most part, like your Chardonnay is going to be buttered because that's yeast driven. Now, your oaky, vanilla, toothpick, wood taste is going to come from that barrel. So, if you're drinking a Chardonnay for the most part, depending on the region and the fermentation, it's going to have butter. It should have butter.
To be a good Chardonnay.
Correct.
Yeah, well, I mean, no. So to me, like we used to call it sledgehammer. It was called like an oak just whacked to the face.
Yep.
A lot of the Northern California Chardonnays, let's say in the '80s, would just whack you in the face with oak, right? But there's complexity to it, and there's delicious factors to it. But there's also like I'm just eating a piece of oak that was soaked in Chardonnay, and it might not be appeasing. But your Burgundy Chardonnays, which is like the granddaddy, the great, one of the great regions of Chardonnay, they have complexity. They have that balance of oak and that balance of like the delicious fruit flavors, like what it might be, like your citrus fruit mixed in with like some of that tropical fruit, and then that butteriness from a diacetyl of the yeast.
Yep, it should always be a diacetyl driven,
and then
yeast
some
derived. Yep.
But if it's too much oak, you have in winemaking they use different ages of oak. There's some neutral, there's none, and there's new, and there's white forest French. There's different toast of the heads. There's toastedness of the brique, the barrel maker and what they're going to do. So it's like it's crazy, and you can make those flavors.
And that probably goes into most of your viewers that watch it drink bourbon. It's the same thing with your light char, your dark char, your.
But we're still talking the char. So I mean, again,
sorry.
Can you have a? And I will tell you, matter of taste, but I want you to be a little bit objective. Can you have a good wine that's not been in a barrel?
Absolute, 110%. Oh yeah.
If it's just in a stainless steel.
Yeah, just stainless steel.
It's not gonna taste like stainless steel.
A lot of the great Rieslings, like they have some, like my one of my preferred flavors is Riesling. I love Riesling, and then it needs to be crisp, clean. It is aged in oak, but most of the time it has it's neutral flavor, nothing, and blended with stainless. You don't have to have any kind of wood flavor to make it a great wine. There's also
So you don't need a big woody to make wood, the wine taste good.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
do not need a big wood.
I didn't have to say it.
All that to set up a joke, right?
It's a long way to go.
What do we have here today? That's the this
I
is your
was,
port.
I will say I'm not a sweet wine drinker, but we do have a ton of sweet wine drinkers that pay my electric bills and keep the gas on and like.
Oh yeah, this is no means of like dismaying sweet wine because like I love a good. This is gonna have sweetness to it, but I mean
I was putting my glasses back here. I'm going to save the little bit of wine for later, but they keep disappearing. So I got to keep this up here now.
Oh, I was gonna wonder. I was like,
They're disappearing.
All right, so this is Carly. This is something that you kind of concocted for us here. This is
yes, it is.
So what is this? What are we
Okay,
doing?
so this is Chamberson from Debonnaire Vineyards, and it's Syrah from Washington.
So it's a blend that you did.
It's a blend. I was gonna I had my wine permit, almost rocking in 2019 before COVID, and then I kiboshed it. But so I made a pour style wine for fun for friends, and aged it in a Seguin Moreau Cabernet barrel from France. And basically, it's aged for 6 years. This is 6 years deep now at this point. It was fortified with the same must of the Chamberson. This is all grape, grape must, not juice. So I had grapes. I fermented them on skins, on lees. Drained it from the foeder into the barrel. Fermented a little bit of a secondary fermentation in there with Syrah and that, all grapes, skins. And then fortified with this distilled grape. It took the grape skins off the pumice, which is basically the grape skins after the wine is bled, like kind of like your mash. When all the grains, the mash is sitting on your false bottom, you take that. You could maybe make something from it, probably not.
Yeah.
But from the grape skins, you can make grappa, brandy, things like that. So this is basically a brandy distilled and then so I stopped the fermentation. So the fermentation was still going on with the Chamberson and Syrah, and I stopped it about 60% the way through. So maybe it was like 7% alcohol, fortified it up to 20%.
Yeah.
So this is basically a port style wine port style because it's not Portugal and it's not all the crazy grapes they use in Portugal. They use a lot of crazy grapes, but so it's about 20%.
The aroma on this
It's
is
like an
insane.
That is just.
Yeah.
Delicious.
I
You can't tell
love
it's 20%.
ports.
That's one of my bread and butters. Yeah, I love it. And it's got oak. You can taste the oak now. Woo,
Yeah.
It's got oak now.
That's one of your brick and barrels right there.
That is delicious.
Yeah, that's tasty.
I will say, from the aroma, it is so smooth. The aroma's boozy, hot. You drink it, it drinks so smooth.
Sweet.
This is
And
sweet,
it's
complex,
it's
berry, blackberry.
Yeah, I would not say it's overly sweet at all. I mean,
No,
it's just a hint of you get the fruit though. Yeah.
The reason I want to do Chamberson because in Portugal they use some grapes that are not native to here. That if I said the name of them like Periladel and Touriga Nacional, like, well, okay, cool. What the fuck is that?
Yeah,
but
what is that?
they're very deep and dark. And the closest thing I could think about here, not even Concord's. Concord's so tannic and so black and grapey. I want Chamberson is like our next thing down. But Chamberson is an amazing grape that grows here. That you can. It's a very like blendable grape by itself. It's like. Woo! But so you gotta blend it, and that's what I did. And then Syrah's like classic Syrah.
Yeah.
Syrah. Everyone loves Syrah. But and that's the best I could do for Portugal.
So we always talk about home brewers on our episodes. So we always have our home winemaker here, Karl, who made this for us back in 2019.
Yeah.
The question is
How much more of this you got?
It's the same thing.
the same thing.
You got a
And
whole.
then sure.
You have a whole barrel of this?
I have probably 30 gallons left. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Everyone can drink it.
That's a party.
Oh yeah. Pop it.
We can,
Pop
tr-
it. Take
or,
it home.
or we can take it home. Yeah. Zech, do you do any home? I mean, obviously you do production wine here, but do you do any stuff back in the bathtub at home?
I used to. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old that are watching this at home. No, I have not had time in the last 3 years to. I used to, all the way up until we had this place. After getting this, all of our fun stuff, anything that I would normally do at home, now becomes research and development. It's being done in the back. It's, hey, we're doing 55 gallons of this. We're doing 120 of this. Like, let's throw this in and see what happens. If it's not good, we dump it. All of our fun projects are coming out of here now.
You know what he does for fun now? He sleeps, mows his lawn.
I wish.
That's about it.
We do have a private wine club. We call the 1933 Club. That is the year that we celebrate the end of Prohibition.
Yeah.
And what we do with that is you get a single barrel bottle every single month. You can sign up online through our website. Our biggest thing with that is that's where all of our research and development goes. We take that, we do it to our club. You guys get an entire question and answer. Did you like this? What was great about it? What wasn't good about it? And it's
kinda
kind of
cool.
our, if things go really good through that, that's how we figure out what our next releases are going to be. So,
Now, earlier you mentioned that you were John Chris was mainly a lot of sweet wines, a lot of fruit wines, and you've kind of moved the needle on that towards more drier California style wines. Do you think that is through efforts of the barrel tasting or things like that, and just educating customers?
yeah, I think there was a huge demand for it that just hasn't been seen out here. We're in a very unique situation. There's not a ton of wineries out here on the west side. There's a lot of wineries out on the east side. They have their wine trails. They have everything. John Chris was lucky enough to be in business for as long as they have been. But we're trying to breathe new life into it and create things that were never done here. Unique. Our biggest thing is that we want to be pushing the needle every time we can. And I want to come up with something new as often as we can and try to do something unique and different. And if it takes off and people like it, we'll continue to produce it. So,
Cool. Yeah, man. I'll go back to one of the first episodes that we had with Zech. I believe he brought in the cab that was barrel aged named after one of your daughters.
Yep.
And then Gracie was the bubbly one, I believe,
Yep.
right?
oh yeah.
So you have definitely two unique ones. I know you've done different variations on the barrel aged one as well, the cab and
Yeah.
some other stuff.
So we're bringing Gracie's Rosé is our sweet bubbly rosé. We're gonna bring that on draft now, full time. It
draft.
took us a while to get the bottling in because we were trying to bottle condition. It was a lot of research and development, getting it up to where it needed to be. And from now on, we're gonna have it on draft full time. And on Sundays we have Sunday brunch. We do $5 mimosas, and we offer that sweet bubbly as one of our mimosa options. So.
Now, I will say also, being out here, that one of the advantages to having a portfolio of sweet wines is something called a slushy machine.
Oh, yeah.
we will be bringing that to Cam's Corner as well.
Nice.
So we always run at least 2 slushies. In the summertime, we run 4. We always have our peach and our blackberry wine slushies going, and then in the summer we'll run margaritas, rum runners, pina coladas, different things like that. And when we get Cam's Corner open,
Oh, he's looking at his
looking
watch.
like, I'm looking at like the
It's-
30th.
Of May?
We're on pace. We're about
Nice.
2-3 weeks away from opening. So once we get Cam's Corner open, we will have the slushy machines going at Cam's Corner as well. So Cam's Corner location will have all of our beer, wine, and cider. It will have our slushies and then all of our cocktails. And then we're going to do pizza and sandwiches out of that location.
In one of the 30 air fryers.
Nope. Get rid of all the air fryers. There will be no air fryers there. We're
So-
actually partnering with Cocky's Bagels down the street in North Olmsted. So we're going to do a lot of open-faced deli sandwiches and like pizza bagels on top of all of our regular flatbread pizzas and deli sandwiches.
So now you have brewed some beer there. Did you say that earlier?
Yeah. Started off with a Hefeweizen. We've got a real nice Pilsner going right now. And
Had to sneak a little beer in here.
the first one had to be a Hefeweizen.
Yeah.
I love German beers. I spent so much time developing and formulating the Hefeweizen style and everything at Fatheads with Matt. And so our very first beer that we brewed there was a Hef. So
Nice.
I can't wait.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. So we got another.
Yeah, so I'm going to touch base on this. So this is a sparkling wine. It's not champagne, but it's champagne method, so traditional method. It's a cava. So it's like, you can get the champagne, right, and pay the piper, or you can get a nice cava from Spain, and it's delicious. And
Yeah.
traditional method, same thing. It's riddled. It's very similar to Belgian beer. I wanted to bring two wines that were similar to brewing, where it's very, the monks created this. They fortified wine to make it bigger, and then they made also sparkling wine to. That's what they just did. They just made sparkling wine.
Yeah.
And
That's what they did.
Yeah, that's it. So it's a traditional method, kind of like your Belgian. It's bottle conditioned and then disgorged and re-added with yeast, and it's bottle conditioned wine from Spain. It's one of my favorites. I love
That's
champagne
fun.
too, but I just like Blanc de Blancs. Blanc de Blancs means white of white.
Did I hear you say earlier that you have a friend that also works here?
Where? Oh yeah, I have a friend that I worked with in New Zealand who works at this sparkling house now.
That's awesome.
Yep. They are Spanish-speaking people. I don't
So
know if
is
they're
it
from
Spanish
Spain
or
or
from
something.
New Zealand? I'm confused
This is
now.
cava. Well, I've worked in multiple places, and I've had French winemakers. We're a melting pot of crazy, weird people, and we don't know what we're saying, and we just drink and
okay.
drive cars around in foreign countries
Yeah.
with stick shift on the wrong side, and
Yeah.
hopefully you survive. And I survived a couple.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, since you do the Grace Rosé, we have this champagne here that we're the sparkling wine.
Cava.
Tell me the big difference between what we generally think of a traditional wine versus a sparkling or sparkling wine. What makes it? I mean, is it yeast? Is it obviously there's carbonation in it, but is there something else that makes it different from a true wine fermentation?
I can touch base on that. So we usually, for sparkling wine, champagne or cava, you want a acidic base. because what you're going to do is you're going to blend it. You're going to have to blend it, and you're going to have to put some sugar in it to create another bottle of conditioning or some more fermentation. So the acidity needs to be low. So in Champagne region of France, they grow for that reason. It's not even like an accident. Like, oh, what's our most acidic, Chardonnay? It's usually Chardonnay, Pinot Meunier, and then that's what's blended for Blanc de Noir or Blanc de Blanc. Those are like the two main grapes. And what happens is they grow to that acidic part of grape growing to knowing that there's going to be acidity is going to be high. The carbonation takes, they're going to go put sugar into it, and they're going to, traditional method being that they carbonate inside the bottle. And that's kind of basically.
So you leave, it's got live yeast, and you ferment it, and then the bottle is like on an angle.
Yeah, it's
and
on an
you
angle. They
freeze
riddle it. It's called riddling. It's
Yeah.
kind of like, the yeast is moving towards the
cap.
the cap, the gorge, the disgorgement cap,
Yeah.
which is like a cheap cork that they know they're going to cut in a machine that's going to freeze it at the end
And just
trap
push it out a little
trap
bit, yeah.
that all of the protein, all the dead yeast, kick it, and then regorge it with yeast, and it's now going to be
Carbonated and
fermented inside of the bottle.
Yeah.
Corked and caged inside.
Big
that
boys
bottle.
game right there.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, a lot of time.
Yeah, it is.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It's,
Yeah.
it's a lot of money in those machines.
And I'm not even doing it due justice because I've had a port, some of Zach's delicious wines, a beer, and this, so I'm like not killing it with the facts. But
No, you're
that's
you're
pretty much
100%
it, yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
It is very much a mass-produced thing, but to the traditional style. And there's a lot of money that goes into those machines. I mean, even my labeler, I don't even want to talk about it. You're looking at like $20,000 for a labeler for a microbrewery. So, no, when they're talking, hey, we're gonna cut it off, and then we're gonna recap and re-yeast and reseal.
You're like, yeah, who's going to do that?
So anytime, like I'm going to lead into that. Anytime you see traditional method on a bottle, that's legit. That's hardcore crap.
Yes.
Because the other method is Charmat method with his bulk tank method, which is beer, and that's why I wanted to bring a sparkling because this is traditional method, but you could do a Charmat method inside of a tank, which is bringing a wine, fermenting it with great yeast, dropping the yeast, putting it into a bright tank, and carbonating it.
Chilling it down, force carbonating it,
Charmat,
injecting CO2
Tank
in.
method, sparkling wine, which is it's pretty much beer except you're not cooking.
So
But
can you
mash.
taste the difference in the two versions?
Yeah, there's a great. This is really nice and smooth. But you know what? Honestly, on this level, no. But like a really good traditional champagne, like a nice champagne, there's a smooth texture. There's
Yeah.
a good body, and it's all about the bubbles.
I would say I think you
It's
can
called
feel it
bubbles.
in the mouthfeel.
In the mouthfeel,
You're gonna
yeah,
get a
absolutely,
slickness. You're gonna get a little bit of that.
Great mouthfeel, and you can see they're called fish eyes, is what we call them, which mean are they small or big? The big ones, probably carbon dioxide pumping into it. Small little baby bubbles that are just kind of floating all the time. That's a beautiful thing.
So
And I
it's
think that's
probably
traditional method.
something besides just CO2 in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's something going on. It's like a nice Belgian beer, a nice, a nice delicious mouth. You get that Belgian saison, and it's like whoa,
that
your mouth's
velvet? Yeah.
exploding. It's like those great traditional method type of bottle conditioning. It's just amazing.
We can taste the
For
carbonation.
British
kind of.
bottle conditioning beer, yeah.
Speaking of, I can't wait for Sean to open the new location.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's going to be phenomenal. So anybody that doesn't know about that, it's
That's gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
Yes, what he's bringing to that place. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean things close and then they have new life, and it's all good. It's all magic.
It's like a phoenix.
Yes. I dropped my notes. I got to grab them.
All right. I mean, again, I knew this would be a fun episode where we kind of need to wrap up, unfortunately, but I'm enjoying this so much. But,
The producer's saying, yeah.
kicking you out.
Is it over now?
no, we started late.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, again, it's just been so nice talking to you guys about this stuff. Thank you so much for getting this together. I know we had a couple hiccups on the way, but I'm glad everyone's healthy and here to do it. I think it's been a cool episode to talk about the wine and, the paths of wine and beer Again, some similarities, a lot of differences. The fact that you guys both have been able to dabble in both fields and been successful in both as well is kind of cool. And we look forward to some new stuff, Zach, with you, and Karl, with you as well. I mean, hopefully you still keep your foot in the door somewhere and then still in the world here, even if you're maybe consulting with someone who's doing all the hard lifting and you're just...
Consulting.
Carl's gonna come do some
Yeah.
some collaboration brews with us.
There you go.
I'm gonna rub Zach's shoulders as he's brewing a beer.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some
We need
chiefs and fun stuff.
We need a chief drain pourer and a
Chief drain pourer.
degorger.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there.
You guys have anything to share coming up at your respective facilities?
Our stuff's all pretty much the same. We, live music every Friday and Saturday, music bingo on Wednesdays, $10 wing baskets, and trivia on Thursday. Cool. So, the Cam's Corner location, we're targeting end of this month to open. Stay on our social media. We'll have a full announcement on all of our social media platforms. When we get that open, we're going to do the same stuff there. So,
Slushy machines.
Yep, slushy machines. We're going to do trivia on Thursdays, live music Friday and Saturdays. So the Cam's Corner location is going to mirror this and what we do.
Cool. Very good.
Yeah, for me, it's just status quo, just open. We got, the World Cup coming up. I got some real ale. I got popping. Got some mild ESB and old kind of English ale, maybe pale. It's still fermenting. I don't know if it's an English ale or a pale ale. I
We'll
got to
see.
wait until it's like
We'll
how
see.
hoppy it's like, okay, it's an English pale because that line is like, woo. So I'm waiting to see what it
It's
dries
all
out
going
to.
to be on cast too. Is that what I saw?
Oh yeah, it's all
online?
beer. It's all beer engine.
All engine.
It's
I saw that online.
three casks about the rock. Backed up to, not just one and done. Hopefully, I think I get about 15, 20 gallons out of that. So mild ESB. Yeah,
Countdown is I think 30 days.
30
right?
days for the. I'm trying to make it to World Cup. So they're all ready to rock on World Cup. Like the first.
Yeah.
The whole World Cup. That'd be good. I figured what's the best time to watch a World Cup game and I'm a soccer, I played in college. I'm like, this is my bread and this is great. First time I think last time I was at a brewery, I was in Oregon and that was the World Cup. And then the other time I was deployed. It's the first time I've been home at the brewery while the
What?
World Cup was actually happened. So I'm excited. So it's gonna
Exciting.
be awesome, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we got. Let me just mention the IPA competition is going to be at Mosaic Brewing Company coming up June 28th. It's also sponsored by the Cleveland Brew Shop, and it's Bart came up with a custom score sheet, so it's not like a BJCP thing. It's going to be brew beers that you want to drink, brew an IPA that you want to drink, and we're not going to pigeonhole it into a West Coast or hazy or whatever. So that's a homebrew competition. So that's coming up next month. We have a couple events coming up next week. We're going to be at Birdtown Brewing in Lakewood. Thanks, Tom, for hooking us up with that. They're confirmed. And the 26th, we're not really sure.
We have a couple things.
Two different things might happen, so can't really say anything about that. And August 25th, we have the Oktoberfest thing at the Lighthouse in Lorraine. So
Get a cool event. You get a boat ride out to the lighthouse in Lorraine. It's going to be an Oktoberfest dinner put on by Lorraine Brewing Company, paired with beers.
yeah, so if you hit our Beacons link, scroll all the way down, there's a link. You can get tickets there. So it's going to be fun.
Like, subscribe, follow us, share with a friend. Let
Yeah.
us know how cool, fun we are. Not just beer, brewing, and bullcrap, but wine, beer and brewing.
Also
bullcrap.
wine, yeah,
A lot of bullcrap.
and a lot of bull crap, and port and grappa and whatever. What was this? What's the name?
Kava.
Cava.
Which is sparkling. It's just sparkling.
Oh, sparkling wine. all
Oh,
right.
Cava with a V. Cava. Okay.
Cava.
Cava,
All right.
not Cava. Cava. I was
Cava.
mispronouncing in my head.
San Luco.
Yeah.
Oh, you're thinking of tequila.
Carl's been drinking. He's slurring his words.
Somebody was going on vacation.
And
He's
Cabo,
like, I
yeah,
want to go on
Cabo Wabo.
vacation.
All right. Well,
All right.
thank you guys so much.
There's only one thing left to say. Stay malty, Cleveland.
Cleveland.